All right, here we go with 12.7, Reteach, which we're using as a pre-teach. And just in case you didn't read it on the note, but we're only going to do 12.7 today. And then you're going to watch the video. And the video that I found has both 12.7 and 12.8. You just need to stop watching that video at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And we'll watch the rest of that video the following day. And then as a heads up, we will review on Thursday and we will test on Friday. Okay? I could have done 12.7 and 12.8 together, but I decided not to, and we'll just have one day of review. But don't worry if things are still not feeling clear and we need to practice more. Reach out to me and I'll help you out, or we'll even push the test back, or we'll take another piece of a test that will make up for anything. So don't stress. We're here to succeed. And then all we have is one more chapter 13. Whoop, whoop. Chapter 13 is our last chapter in 6th grade. And then we'll just do some reviewing. So going over some crucial things from 6th grade that you're going to need to carry on to 7th grade, and so forth. So at any point, go ahead and get a hold of me if there's things from 6th grade that you're like, hey, could we go over this again? Because whether you want to or not, we are still doing math until the end of school. So even if we're at home, we're still doing math. But if you come back, we'll still be doing math. Okay? And you know, math's my favorite. So, all right, let's get going today. Today we're going to talk about the effects of an outlier. And the definition right here for outlier, let's read this top paragraph. Sometimes a data set contains a number that is much less or much greater than the rest. So that means one piece of information, piece of data looks much different than the rest. Okay, this number is called an outlier. Please write yourself some sort of note. Don't just write this number is called an outlier. Write something about what an outlier is. Okay, taking note of outliers can help you understand a data set. Sometimes in science, when there's an outlier, that piece of information can be thrown out because it is so varied from the rest of the data. They kind of consider it not valid, okay, just that piece. So that's one reason we look for outliers. We also can tell how an outlier will affect the rest, because think about it, if an outlier is way out there, like let's say really, really low, it's going to pull your average down, right? If you were looking like average test scores and one score is super low, it's going to pull your average down and look like the whole class didn't do as well. Does that make sense? Okay, and vice versa. If one is pulled up really high, and I'm not talking about a math test, because one really high one to a bunch of low ones isn't going to pull it up too much. Okay, so we'll see some different ways that might work in these examples today. Okay, so let's use this idea of an outlier, and let's go through, and I want to make sure you can see all 4 steps. Sorry, it's a little slanty, but okay, so use a dot plot to find the outlier for the quiz scores. Then tell how the outlier affects the mean and the median. Okay, and remember, mean and median are kind of those, like, the mean is average is kind of like if we put out a blanket score. This is about what everybody got. The median is the middle score. If I take out a score, is that going to change my median? So we're going to see how that works. Okay, scores. These are the scores on a 20-question quiz. So 15, 12, 16, 5, 17, 14, 13, 14, 18, 16. Probably looking over those, you probably can tell. But guess what? They still want us to create a dot plot. So we're going to. So fortunately for you in this one, the dot plot's already made. So we just made sure we put a dot in each of those places. And we can see, things we can notice are 16 and 14 both have 2. So one thing we could say about this, we don't need to know this right now, but 14 and 16 have the most. So those 2 would be our mode. So I want you to remember most, mode. Okay, I know we talked about it yesterday, but just making sure. But then we can see how 5 is all the way down here. That would be considered our outlier. Okay, so find the outlier. Most of the points are between 12 and 18. This is the way they're going to ask you on the assignment today, so make sure you think about that. When we look about it, we're like, oh, yep, it looks like they're mostly between 12 and 18. 5 is much less than the rest, so it is the outlier. Okay, so 5 is our outlier. Now we're going to find the median and mode without the outlier. Okay, so a lot of these questions that you're going to see today are going to give you the mean and give you the median, and then tell you to look for it again without the outlier. Now, I also wrote today on your lesson plans, in case you haven't read all the way through them, that you can use a calculator. okay? But you still have to show me your work, as in you still need to set it up and show me what you're doing, but you can use a calculator to do the work, okay? To do the math. All right, so median, make an ordered list of the value points. Now notice they made an ordered list, but they left out the outlier. They left out 5 because it would be right here. So we left it out. But when we do this way and we look for the median, we're going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 15 is our median now. Our old median, if you look up here, they had given it to us as 14.5. So see, it did make a difference, didn't it? That outlier pulled our median down a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Okay, and then to find our mean, sorry, I almost jumped to the next step. For our mean, we just add everything up except for that 5. And I'm not sure what this was, but then we take that answer and divide by 9 instead of dividing by 10. Because up here there were 10 points, but now we only have 9 points because we got rid of that outlier. And the mean for this now is 15. The mean before was 14. So you can see how that outlier pulled our mean score down, okay? And then this last little part says, describe the effects of the outlier. We did talk about that as we went. So without the outlier, the mean went up from 14 to 15, and the median went up from 14.5 to 15. So that could be a way that you could describe what the effect of the outlier was, okay? Making sense? Take some notes. If you got to pause and take some notes, okay? Now we're going to use the same thing and do our own here. So I'm going to lift up the camera leg just a second. Okay. Whoa, tipping. Okay, so this one says, find the outlier by drawing a dot plot of the data. So right here we have the data. How many points do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8. Okay, I'm just going to make a little note over here. 8 data. Okay, just so I know. Now I'm going to put this on. So 29, so that's 30. Here's 29. 33. 24. 14. 29, 31. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 33. But we do have another 33, so I'm going to leave it there. 31, 31. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. Okay, so I have 2 33s, 2 31s, 2 29s. So if we were to ask what the mode of this would be, we would say there are 3 of them, right? 3 that have the most. But we are not dealing with the mode. I'm just kind of reminding you about that. Okay, so when we look at this, which one is clearly our outlier? 14 is clearly our outlier. Okay? All right, so then we need to find the mean and the median without the outlier. So I'm going to add all these together without the outlier. And I do not have a calculator with me right now, so I'll be doing this by hand. So I'm just going to add them up. 29, 33, 24, no 14. So I'm just going to add these 3 up first. So that would be like 16, 6, 7, 8. That's 86. I'm going to add that to this next set. So I'm going to use 29 again. I'm going to put 31 and 31 together right now because I can do that. 62 and 33. So now I'm still only adding up 3. So 14. Carry that up there. You know, this 1 and this 3 give me a 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. I know how to make 10s. Woohoo! Plus 2 more is 12, so 124. Right? All good? Everybody agree? Okay, you can't disagree anyway. Haha. And then I'm going to add these 2 together. So remember, again, I only have 7 points now. So when I do this for my mean, I'm going to, and I'm going to do the mean first. It's just a habit. But I want to make sure I divide by the right number this time. It's not the same as what I originally had. Okay, 4 and 6 give me a 10. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to carry this one over here and put up on my 2. So 2, 3 plus 8 is 11. 210. Okay, 210. And remember, I had 8, but now I have 7 because I didn't put 14. I'm going to divide that by 7, and I'm going to get 30, right? Goes into that 3 times 0. Got it. So my mean in this case is 30. And that seems better. If I take that 14 out, doesn't that seem like a better average of my other scores? 30. Somewhere right here in the middle of the most of them. Makes more sense, doesn't it? Okay, and then my median, let's just line these up. So without that 14, I'm going to have 24, 29, 29, 31, 31, 33, 33. What's also really nice about this, that before it was even and now it's odd, so I'm for sure going to have one in the middle. So I'm going to go from the outsides 1, 2, 3, and my middle is 31. So 31 is my median. Okay? So without the outlier, without it, the mean was what? What would we call that? And I want to make sure I say the right words. Okay? How would we describe it? So without the outlier, the mean rose from, from, what was it before? From $28 to $30, right? Okay, and the median, again, to describe that same thing, the median rose from $30 to $31. Okay, so that is 12.7. Okay, I may do a couple others in another video later. We'll see how I feel, or I'll do it for the review. Okay, go to it, go nice and slow, and take really good notes in the next video. Okay, talk to you later.